Okay, I'm back. I had to move for some reason. I've never had trouble with the cell service up there on the top of my deck. Okay, I started a video a while ago, a live video. Hopefully people will jump back in here and join back in. Thank you, Parnell. All right. Some of you were watching. I lost signal. I'm back now, hopefully for good. So the big deal, what got me started here was that my friend Randy Blockett made a post of why bass gets more media coverage than FLW. And bass has been around a lot longer than FLW. We all know that. I've started fishing a long time ago. I fished in places, actually in circuits like the Central Pro-Am, right here in Missouri. Ernie Daughtry started it, Kevin Bowling, Jim Thompson, now Mike Webb. I fished against a ton of people that are phenomenal fishermen, okay? Phenomenal fishermen. There's people sitting around at their house and fishing jackpot tournaments and so on and so forth. They're just as good a fishermen as some of these great anglers. Way better than me. A lot of people are, okay? People like Brandon Polinick, Gerald Swindle, Skeet, all right, Brian Thrift, Matt Airy, Jeff Sprague. There's people that don't even fish professionally that are just as good as all the guys I've mentioned, okay? That's the bottom line. The biggest thing I see in bass fishing is you can make a choice, and it's just like going gambling. It's just like if you want to go to the casino, you can sit at a penny slot, a dollar slot, or $100 slot. I like to say blackjack. You can go into any casino, and you can choose to sit at a $5 blackjack table, okay? So don't diss FLW because BASS is only got 108 professional anglers that the world can follow. In my opinion, that's not enough for the bass fishing world. How about we have only 108 professional football players or 108 professional baseball players? Do you think that's enough to follow? Do you think that that's enough people to promote the professional sport of bass fishing? I don't. I'm not dissing the bass elite guys. But what I get sick and tired of is guys saying, oh, bass is better than FLW, and why all the FLW guys jump over to fish to fish bass elites and all that. Well, whoopee freaking duty. Who gives a crap? The bottom line is there's not enough slots in the Bassmaster elites to feed the fury and the fire that's stoked behind bass fishermen like myself. I'm going to spend all year long trying to fish a $1,500 tournament, and if I win it, a Bassmaster Open, I get a berth of Bassmaster Classic. Thank you. Got one of those, okay? And about $50,000, okay? I can't live on fishing Bassmaster Opens. Not enough. You have to finish in the top 5 of a Bassmaster Open every time you fish it to make $1. To make $1. Or you can put your money in the FLW Tour, which is over $4,000. I'll forget even what it is. $4,200 entry fee. Okay? You can go fish against some hammers. All right? Finish 50th place and put $10,000 in your pocket. When it's all said and done, if you're lucky, you made $5,000. Okay? Now, that's the $100 table I talk about. Instead of sitting at the $5 table, I'm going to go sit at the $100 table. And the only avenue that provides an angler like myself without quitting your job and just jumping in bass fishing all the way in is the FLW Tour, okay? And I love Bassmasters. They put a great tournament on. I love FLW because they put a great tournament on, okay? I fished the BFLs, which when they used to be Redman, when they were draws, and then you made a regional, and then you advanced, and they introduced the Golden Blend, blah, blah, blah. And why I'm saying that, the best bang for your buck right now in the bass fishing world is the Costas. It's the same entry fee within $100 a piece of the Bassmaster Opens and the Costas, okay? The FLW Costa is a good buy if you want to try to make some money, okay? Especially especially if you're running the most awesome boat in the world, a Ranger, and you're part of Ranger Cup. Let's say you're part of Ranger Cup and you enter a Costa event on the pro side and you win a Costa event. It's $1,500 or $1,600 entry fee. Not only do you win the first place prize, which is generally $30,000 to $40 some odd $1,000, you win a fully rigged Ranger boat that you probably can sell for over $40,000. Ask Jason Lambert. He made about $105,000 last year when he won the Okeechobee event, okay? All this rampage I'm going on is in response to some of the stuff that I see on Randy Blockett's post about media coverage, Bass versus FLW. And some of the posts I see people putting on there about how much better Bass is about exposure and so on and so forth. You are what you make it. I made my way exposing myself. Exposing, not in a bad way. Don't be naughty. I've made my mark exposing my own individual self, okay, to the bass fishing world. It's up to every angler to personally involve himself into his marketing, okay? That's the number one thing. I can't rely on FLW to get me all the exposure that I need, all right? The 108 guys that you watch on the Bassmaster Elite, that's not enough. Those aren't enough guys. Those aren't enough opportunities in the bass fishing world to get out there and try to be a professional bass fisherman. Thank God there is the FLW Tour and the Bassmaster Elites, because the business of bass fishing couldn't, I don't think I could just stand following 108 guys. I want to follow more than that. And that's the great thing about the FLW Tour. Yes, it's not as prestigious as the Bassmaster Elites. Yes, FLW does not have the subscriptions, all right, the publication subscriptions that Bassmaster does. But for crying out loud, Bassmaster's been around since 1968, all right? That's back there when George Washington was born. You know, they've been around a long time. So, I understand their following's bigger, okay? But if you're a true bass fishing fanatic like I am and have been, you know who the hell Andy Morgan is. And let me tell you guys who only follow Bass Elites, if you don't know who the hell Andy Morgan is, you might ought to check yourself and check some publications other than the Bassmasters. And yes, why do all the FLW guys who have the opportunity to go fish the Bassmaster Opens qualify in the top 5 of the points to make the Bassmaster Elites? Okay? That is good for some people's careers, all right? But I can tell you other people who have qualified for the Bassmaster Elites who haven't moved over to the Bassmasters. Mark Rose, JT Kinney could have. Very close. He didn't even fish the last event. He was up earning points. They didn't jump over to the Bassmaster Elites. Not that I see. Why? Because the FLW Tour provides us a great opportunity to promote our sponsors, win money in bass tournaments, make money from sponsors, promote the sport of bass fishing, and so on and so forth. Thank God FLW's there, because I don't know how many times I would have to try to finish in the top 5 of a points, spend gobs of money and gobs of time trying to make the top 5 in points. It's not easy to do. Those that do it, I commend them, and they earn their right to the elites, okay? No doubt about it. They earned it. They deserve it. But let's face it, the bass fishing world can't survive just off the 108 Bassmaster Elite guys. God bless them. But it can't do it, all right? Because if that was the case, you guys wouldn't know who the hell I was. But guess what? You do. And I don't fish Bassmasters. I fished 17 Bassmasters event. I've made a check in like 2 of them. Okay? I couldn't make the points last time I fished the Bassmaster Opens. I zeroed at Gibson and turned around and won Table Rock. Had no chance in hell of ever making the top 5 in points. So what do? Keep fishing, keep buying my boat, keep soliciting sponsors and on and on and on just to fish a $1,500 entry fee with a 1 or 5 out of 200 chance to qualify for the Bassmaster Elites. Those are not good odds. And that's not a good way to enter your bass fishing career. If you want to start fishing, start with the BFLs, the Costas, okay? You got grassroots. I explain this to people, right? Yes, Todd. Yes. I explain this to people all the time. There's two major circuits out there right now. There's the FLW Tour and the Bassmaster Elites. Both of them have hammer for fishermen, okay? The other level, I like to call it AAA, okay? The AAA level is the Bassmaster Opens and the Costas, the FLW Costas. Those two right there, okay? Those are AAA. Throw your money in there. It don't cost as much. And then you got the grassroots, okay? I don't know what the federation stuff is or whatever, but the biggest grassroots program out there on the road right now is the BFLs, the TH Marine BFLs. All great tournaments, all great ways to fish, all great ways to get out there. But again, do you want to sit at the $5 table, the $50 table, or the $100 blackjack table? What do you want to do? What can you afford to do? Here's something that most people don't think, all right? If I go fish a bass tournament, regardless of the entry fee, $1, $10,000, regardless of the entry fee, there is a constant, I don't even know how to say this. Some things don't change regardless of your entry fee. You still got the same gas, you still got the same hotels, and you still got the same food, okay? You still got all that traveling expense regardless of the entry fee that you choose to fish. So for all you guys that think you can go out there and make a living bass fishing, pony up. The entries will open in December sometime. The top 100 guys in the FLW Tour get priority entry, okay? Thank God I just barely made it myself. Get priority entries into the FLW Tour. All right? So throw your $4,500 entry fee in there times 7 and enter the Walmart, or not the Walmart, I'm sorry. Walmart has nothing to do with it anymore. Enter the FLW Tour and be a pro basser. It's that simple. And if you want to sit here and say that the Bass Elite guys are better than the FLW guys, not true. Everybody that fishes on the Bass Elites and the guys on the FLW are all great anglers, okay? They're all great anglers. I would love to see the good old days, for example, the Toyota Texas Bass Classic, where they took the top 15 FLW Tour event standings, guys, and the top 15 of the Bassmaster Elites, and the top 15 for the Professional Anglers Association, and put them all together to fish the Toyota Texas Bass Classic. That is a true way to say, hey, who is really super good? Is it going to be a Bassmaster guy? Is it going to be an FLW guy? Who's going to win the TTBC? Okay? We don't have that anymore. You got the Classic, okay? And you got the FLW Cup. I haven't talked or mentioned anything about Major League Fishing, okay? A totally different concept, a totally different way of tournament fishing, all right? So that's a whole nother realm. But I'm going on to, again, Randy Blockett made a post a while ago about media coverage and so on and so forth. And there's guys talking about how much better the Bass Elite guys are. And that's why all the FLW guys are jumping over to the Bass Elites, okay? Well, you know what? Maybe those guys had the time. They didn't have a scheduling conflict with the Costas, the Tour, maybe they had the opportunity to go fish all 3 or all 6 or all 9 of the Bassmaster Open somehow. But I can tell you, in my position of where I'm at in my career, I can't afford to quit fishing a major circuit like the FLW Tour to go fish a AAA circuit with the hopes of trying to qualify to fish another major tour. That don't make any sense. All right? And I don't even make a ton of money like Mark Rose does on the FLW Tour. So, if first place in a Bassmaster Elite's $100,000 and the first place in an FLW Tour event is $100,000, which one are you going to fish? You're going to fish whichever one you can get your ass into. Duh. That's the bottom line. All right? So when FLW starts capping it off and making their tournaments more prestigious, then maybe we'll get the coverage that Bassmaster Elites does. So, get off the FLW's freaking case, people, and realize that there are some great freaking anglers that fish the FLW Tour, and you might want to plug in and see who those guys are. I'm not saying that I'm one of them. I'm not one of the greats. Well, maybe I am. I'm legendary status for many, many reasons, but not just for my bass fishing skills, all right? I am worldwide, and I want everybody to think about this and get off FLW's ass, all right? Just get off of it. Trust me, Edwin doesn't want to come over and fish against FLW guys. Skeet doesn't, you know, but there's many of them would if Bass didn't want to compete so badly against FLW, and they actually talked at the beginning of the year about scheduling. Watch how many BASS guys would come on over and fish the FLW Tour and fish the Elites. Fish them both. A lot of guys would. Tommy Biffle, Ish Monroe, two personal friends of mine I know right now would fish both circuits, but they can't because somehow Bassmaster Elites always manages to schedule, even with plenty of notice, Bassmaster always seems to schedule something so it conflicts with the FLW Tour schedule. FLW could put their tournament schedule out 3 years in advance. Listen to me preach. 3 freaking years in advance. And Bassmasters would make sure that that elite tournament or 2 or 3 would land on the same damn week that an FLW tournament has been scheduled. If you don't believe me, ask somebody else that fishes FLW, and even ask somebody that fishes the Bassmaster Elites. That's the bottom line. That's the truth as I see it. Okay? So, we need both circuits so bass fishing cronies can follow, because 8 tournaments ain't enough for the bass fishing world to follow. So follow the FLW Tour, follow the Bassmaster Elites, follow the Costas, follow the Opens, follow the BFLs, follow your favorite fisherman, no matter where he's fishing. But realize this, FLW is not going anywhere. Bass ain't going anywhere. Major League Fishing's not going anywhere. There's your 3 things that you can watch. So if you got your belly full and you only want to watch Bassmaster Elites, unfriend me, don't watch my videos, and so on and so forth. But you yourself are missing out on a great treat by not branching out a little bit and knowing that outside of those 108 elite anglers, there's a lot more guys that you can follow, fish, and learn from. Me being one of them. All right? I love everybody until they piss me off. And then I want to kick their ass. But that's all right. I've had my ass kicked before. Brian Thrift did it all year. Times 10. Maybe even times 100. All right? So, I love my Bass Elite friends. I love my Bass Open friends. I love my FLW friends. I love the people that follow bass fishing. And all we want as professional anglers is to go out there and put a smile on your face and give you something to look forward to watching, tracking, and keeping highlights of, and so on and so forth. I don't watch other professional sports. All I really do and ever wanted to do was fish. And my avenue to fish is the FLW Tour. Thank God I went as a co-angler. I made enough money. I put enough money away. I took the chance, and I joined the FLW Tour the minute the economy went in the tank. And I got in. All right? So, sorry about the rampage. Randy Blockett, God bless you. All right? I'm sorry that people just get on there and hammer, you know what, out of you. You know, or I wish that more people would track bass fishing all the way through. All right? So, again, keep track of us. Watch us on the FLW Tour. Trust me, I know Major League Fishing put me on the map, and I appreciate that. And I love fishing the Major League Fishing format. Okay? But trust me when I say this too. FLW is a fine organization. You'll not find a better run tournament from tournament directors like Ron Lampin and Bill Taylor. Okay? You can't beat it. So, if you want to be a professional bass fisherman, you want to put your money at the $100 table, be watching. The FLW Tour is going to give you a chance. And then they're going to cut it off and say no more. So, for all you say that I can't make it in bass fishing, I don't have time to fish the opens and this and that and whatever, come on, sit at the $100 table with me at the FLW Tour. I'm going to be there. You can come take my money. I give it to anybody. Anybody that enters, finishes ahead of me, technically they take my money. So, I don't know what else to say after that rant and rampage. I'm sure I forgot something stupid. It's getting dark out here. But it is beautiful right here at Table Rock Lake. God bless America. That's all I got to say. My beard's nicer than Gerald and Luke's.